Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Smash This Podcast. Going to be some shocked people early this morning, wondering what the hell I'm doing live right now. Well, let me tell you. Let's just say that I kind of lost yesterday, unfortunately. I was up most of the night before. Finally got to sleep somewhere between 4 and 5 a.m. and slept till 3 in the afternoon, where my wife walked in the bedroom and said, "Are you getting up today?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I guess so." So my day was just shot at that point because it took me till nighttime to really get going. But at that point, I started planning for this. I was going to go live and at some point last night, but I was like, nah, you know what? Screw it. I'll just, watch some stuff, kick back, make some coffee in the morning. Actually, Mrs. J Bone made some coffee in the morning, and here we are to talk some news. And you're probably looking at the cover of this video and saying, who in the blue hell or green hell, depending on where you're from, who in the blue hell is Jack Talos? Well, let me tell you. So yeah, we're gonna talk. Mark, what is up, brother? This time is meaningless now, a flat circle, if you will. Right? Oh yeah. So if you are part of the Ultimate Insiders with, yes, and there's an Aussie here with a new sweater on. Right? Styles says, Veer coming to Impact. You're close. Actually, we stole Veer from the WWE and we put him in Total Nonstop Impact. We were talking about that the other night. Anyways, if you are part of the Ultimate Insiders for Impact Wrestling, either in the YouTube, or if you're part of the, if you pay for the app, the $7, whatever it is, you get some footage early. It's not free. It's free like several days later. It's like 4 or 5 days later or something like that. But this came out, let's see, when did this come out? Oh, this came out 2 days ago. Okay. So I finally took the time to watch this. I was like, oh, VSK. And we joke, I should say we lovingly joke about VSK on TNI. If you watch me over on TNI, you know exactly what I'm talking about, especially Front Row Bill. Front Row Bill has a deep love for VSK. No, that's actually couldn't be further from the truth. But I was like, oh, VSK, he's on Ultimate Insider exclusive for members only, and I am a member. I'm not just a member. No, I'm kidding. That's different. So I watched this and I'm like, okay, VSK versus Jack Talos. Well, I'm like, well, I'm paying for this stuff. I better watch it, right? Right. So I did. And I was like, Jack Talos. Well, because I saw the post on the Twitter box. And there isn't, they didn't even use any social media. You use the at VSK or whatever it is for VSKs, so you can see, oh, it's so and so, and this is his Twitter. There is no, they did not tag him in the post. And I'm like, well, that's kind of strange. So I look for Jack Talos, thinking, it's just a hiccup on the social media department. God knows there's never any of those on any, company sites. It's not a cut on Impact. I'm just saying abroad, okay? Just abroad. So I look, I do a search, and I don't find like anything other than a couple people talking about him, and it was like a spoiler thing from the last week in January saying, oh, this guy's coming to the ring to wrestle VSK. So it was someone in the audience. Nothing. So I'm like, what the heck? Who is this guy? So I'm like, well, he looks a little familiar. So then in the process of searching for stuff, I find an article. I find a blog from it's basically an Impact Wrestling blog. And it says, oh, so-and-so was let go from the WWE. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a start. That certainly is a start. So I jump on. So I jump on the old ringsidenews.com. I'm like, this is probably going to be the easiest way for me to find an old article, because I follow Ringside. I love it or hate it, I still follow ringsidenews.com because they have been getting some exclusives, yada, yada, yada. And I do a search on their site for WWE releases. Well, then I kind of slap myself in the head and go, duh. Well, there's only been like 200 releases within the last calendar year. Oh, maybe this isn't going to be as easy. Do you want to sit in my lap, Ozzy? Jiminy Christmas. My fat, fuzzy boy. I'm like, okay, so this isn't going to be as easy as I thought it was, because then you have all of these articles popping up between now and over 2 years ago when all the big releases started. So I start looking through lists. Okay, is there anyone on this? And I'm like, okay, I don't even recognize this guy, so it has to be an NXT release. I'm like, okay, now we're getting closer. So I start looking through WWE/NXT releases. Okay, now we're getting closer. We got this now. I'm going all the way back to middle of April 2020. This is almost two calendar years ago. This is back when the big releases happened and everyone was like, oh my God. So you had EC3, Leo Rush, Eric Young, the Coen brothers, Eric Rowan, No Way Jose, Rusev, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Slater, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, and Drake Maverick. And then a whole slew, almost just as many NXT guys, plus all the coaches. This is like at the right when the pandemic started. Oh, there's that word you can't say. Right when the panini got started and everybody got fired. All the coaches, producers, all those people got fired. Okay, you want to lay down? Jiminy Christmas. Ow. All right. You good? You good? You good. All right. So I'm like, okay, here's where we got a ton of releases. I'm going through this list and I'm trying to find, I'm like, this guy looks like he's like European or something. So maybe he doesn't have, okay, Mike Chioda, no, that's a ref. Tino Sabatelli, no, I know who that is. Cesar Bononi, no, I know who that is. Dan Mantha, no. Taya Conti, no. Cassius Ono, no, it's definitely not Cassius Ono. And I'm going through all these names, and all of a sudden I see Diana Perrazzo, and I'm like, oh, we know who that is. And I look right below it, and I search a couple other names, not finding anything. This Alexander Jasic, I don't know how you pronounce this. I do a search on that and I find a couple other names, but I don't find a Jack Talos. So sure enough, you do enough digging, and this is the guy. He goes by, like I said, he goes by a couple other names, but this is the guy. And he's been going on the indies now for somewhere within the last calendar year or so, since he's been gone from the WWE, as Jack Talos. And I watched this match back like 3 times, like just really studying this guy. I'm like, there's something about him. Number one, when I watched this match on my phone, and the match was done, and he's doing that pose, and they zoom in on him, what you see on my cover here behind me, the cover of the video, my phone froze on that screen. You usually, when you're watching YouTube videos, it automatically either goes to the next video if you have it set up like that, or it'll give you a whole list of stuff to watch next in its place. You know, your screen will fill up with a bunch of little examples, a bunch of different screens, like, here, watch this next. No, it just froze on this guy's face. And I'm like, this dude is terrifying. Look at this face. This, wow. Like, just a mean, big dude. So, like, it gave me goosebumps when that, like, froze on my phone. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with my phone? And I'm looking at this picture. And I'm like, man, I need to talk about this guy. So I watched the match back a couple times and really paid attention to this guy. Number one, I want to give props to VSK, because not everyone can wrestle with a guy who's like a foot taller than him. You know? Usually when you see VSK, you'd think, okay, so the VSK is like barely as tall as me. He's like 5'8", 5'9", something, whatever. About my height, give or take a little. But this guy, this Jack Talos, is now I'm not going to sit here and like overthink this and criticize this. There's a lot of people that are booked as 7 feet tall and they're not 7 feet tall. There's a reason why he wrestled VSK. VSK is significantly shorter than him. He's going to come across much easier as a 7 foot tall monster. So this guy is about as tall, give or take, as Morrissey, W. Morrissey, Kaz XL, if you will. Excuse me. But this dude is significantly taller, and he looks badass. And what he's wearing to the ring here reminds me from about 10 years ago when the Shield popped up. So it gave someone in the comments of the video I was watching said something to the effect of Giant Reigns incoming or something like that, you know, or Jack Reigns, or, you know, some kind of Roman Reigns comment. It's like, oh, okay, that's cute. But yeah. So the match is good. And for those of you who don't have the Ultimate Insiders and are like, I don't know what you're talking about, Jabo. The match will be free in a few days. Like on what does it say here? It's going to be free like on the 10th or the 12th or something like that. So you'll see it in a few. If you're not an Ultimate Insider, you'll see it soon. Or if you're not an Ultimate Insider and you pay for the app for Impact Wrestling, it's on there. At least I think it is. It should be on there. So this guy got let go the same time as Deonna Purrazzo. And it only took 2 years to get this guy in front of people. And I have no clue how good he was back then. I didn't see any of his NXT matches back then or developmental matches. I have no idea. But I dig this guy. The crazy part of this, if I didn't say it already, is he beat VSK in this match. He beat VSK. Now, this is not most guys that are booked against like a giant, it's a it certainly isn't a squash match. This VSK did a good job. And honestly, from what I saw, this is probably one of the better matches that I've seen VSK in. Not knocking him. VSK is just one of those guys on the Impact roster I really haven't paid much attention to. I've paid attention to him in promos. He's part of the learning tree, blah, 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 blah. And they mentioned that plenty on commentary during this match. But I was like, man, this is really going to be something if VSK beats this giant. This is really going to put this kid over. Well, Jack Talos wins. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, VSK got buried. How could they do that? He's on the roster. This Jack Talos guy isn't. Well, maybe, like it says here in the title of the video, maybe Jack Talos is Impact Wrestling's newest monster. Hashtag sign Jack Talos. I put this hashtag out there yesterday and told everyone in the Discord, hey, get this hashtag going. So if you look, and I almost never post stuff on Twitter except for promoting stuff here and there. I'm pretty quiet. I don't get into a lot of discussions because it's not worth it. Because there's always some, dip out there that wants to argue with you, Be like, look at this beautiful sunny day. The sky is blue. And someone will be like, oh, you know what? It's cloudy by me. Well, you know what? Get your dark cloud away from me, Mr. Negative. I just don't start conversations. Anna, good morning. Says, I've seen VSK in the Indies. Yeah, he's like a Philly guy, Northeast Coast guy, I believe. Something like that. Hakeem Fullerton, good morning. Hashtag sign Jack Talos. Well, that's lovely in the chat here, but get it out there on the social media and tag Impact. I tagged Scott D'Amore and Impact Wrestling in the post. Tag Scott. If you look, and don't just take my word for it. Watch the match. Or if you don't have access to it, wait till it comes out in a few days for the people that are going to watch it free. Good morning, Styles. Take care, brother. Go have a good walk. uh yeah, according to some Redditors, he was released as part of the cuts. Yes, 2 years ago. Yes. So yeah, Hakeem Fullerton says, I wonder if Impact signed this guy. Well, this was part of the Florida tapings, and from what I've seen, he's wrestled in Florida and he's also wrestled in California. Now, where he's based out of, I have no idea. I would assume Florida because he was part of NXT 2 years ago, but I have no idea. Excuse me. So yeah, I just wanted to take some time and talk about this guy because he really impressed me. Now, am I going to sit here and say he is the be all? No, absolutely not. But he's got potential. He absolutely's got potential. He has his own YouTube channel and he's got a couple matches on there. And it's similar to what we saw here, it's fairly short matches. And he actually has like a short, what they got the YouTube shorts on there, they call them. Like more for like if you're watching mobile, whatever, on your phone. And so he made one that's a short, and it's a short promo talking about where he's from, being cut from NXT, tell the world to look out because here I come. One of those kind of deals. So, and I just want to get everyone's honest opinion. If you think this guy's cool, let me know. Spread the word. He's not on Twitter from what I've seen, unless he's going by something else. You might have to do a little more digging. He has a Facebook page, but his Facebook page hasn't been updated in like 2 years. And what's kind of strange, and I'm not knocking the guy, but he's got his own website and he looks like a model in it. There's really nothing of his website on there. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's nothing to do with wrestling. It's like something from social media. He's modeling or something. There's all these promo pics. So I don't know what. Maybe he's trying is like, if he's going into acting or something too. But he's all cleaned up. He's wearing regular clothes, not the like the military style stuff as you see here. So, but anyways, interesting stuff. So yeah, go check it out and let me know in the comments what you think. Next, I saw something. Ow, Ozzy, that's my nipple. Damn. I love this cat. I really do. Now, I heard something. Now, of course, this is Wednesday. We all know what's on Wednesdays. Good old AEW. And I'll be covering this later tonight. But before that, make sure you stick around on the old YouTubes. You gonna sit up? Okay, you're gonna sit up now. And make sure you go head over to TNI because the UK boys are gonna be live later. And apparently they've got a surprise guest. What's up with all these surprise guests? No, I'm not complaining. Those guys have been killing it. They've really been doing good. So please make sure you take some time out of your day, when you go to lunch, whatever, or just catch the replay if you can catch it live. Go check out Team TNI UK. So there's a lot of people putting out guesses for who's going to be this big signing debuting tonight. And if you're watching AEW, by all means, put it in the chat. Who do you think is going to be showing up tonight? Who's going to be this big announcement? And there could be more than one. Apparently, there's going to be one showing up in this match. It's a Face of the Revolution match. Somebody's going to be debuting, some mystery person facing, is it Isaiah Cassidy? Isaiah Cassidy. To Love Impact on the Twitch, says Jeff Hardy. Matt Hardy's been hinting a lot about that. Certainly could be. Anna says, did Ozzy get you in the yam bags? No, he got me in the man boobs. Larry Bongo says, I just watched a Talos match from last year on YouTube. He's certainly big if they turn Morrissey into a face, which he kind of is already. Could be an interesting old school wrestling big man rivalry. There you go. There are certainly plenty of big men on Impact Wrestling now. It's not all little X Division guys now. You got Joe Doring? Yeah, Joe Doring. You got Gallows. You got Hikuleo. Hikuleo hasn't been around for a while. But I think he's still on the roster page. Don't quote me on that. But he's part of the, Bullet Club. Oh, speaking of roster people on Impact's page, just talk about this real briefly. So we were guessing this. We didn't want to assume nothing, but one of the knockouts has been released. Best friend of Jordan Grace, Rachel Ellering. Almost forgot who it was. Rachel Ellering is gone from Impact, and that's a bummer. And we're not privy to what happened. A lot of people are assuming it's because of the social media post about missing a birthday or something. I wouldn't think that's it, but we don't know what kind of conversations there were beyond that post. So who knows? Who knows what happened? Not going to assume anything, but hey, there's plenty of new knockouts coming lately to Impact Wrestling to fill up that slot. It's not a bad thing, No, we wish you well on your future endeavors. Post nothing, just gone. So who knows? Rachel Ellering is a good talent. I'm sure she'll pop up somewhere. Yeah. Anna says, I'm surprised she hasn't been on in a while. Yeah. She hasn't been on ever since that social media stuff. So who knows? Maybe she'll be back someday. I don't know. That's right, Hakeem. It is what it is. What are you going to do? People come, people go. That's wrestling, right? But back to this AEW big guest for tonight. There's a handful of people that are recently free agents that, people are talking about. But now I heard about an article from Wrestle Talk from last night. And this is funny. Let's see, is the video part of this? Okay. Yeah, the video is part of this. All right, so I'm going to share this. I don't think I'm going to get in trouble for this. This is from a signing. Okay, this is from a signing. Get rid of a few of my tabs here. Get rid of that one. All right. Do a little share ski. Yeah, there we go. Something. All right. Audio window. No, not window. Here we go. Share. All right, here we go. Listen to this. I'm going to play this. This is Killer Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux at a signing last night. And, well, this is part of the conversation that happened.
It'll pop up somewhere, I'm sure.
Somewhere.
But you guys are the hot commodity right now in the business. Maybe you'll be in Atlantic City. Who knows?
Oh, is that? Oh, really?
Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my God. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you guys are going to
Holy
be gambling
shit.
at Caesars. That's what we're talking about.
Holy shit.
So, all right, guys. With that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you soon. We'll be back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for another show. Actually, no, we're back on Wednesday night, guys.
We're live, pal.
Bye.
Okay, we'll do it live.
Bye.
All right. So for those, the audio isn't super loud, but so if you didn't catch that, the voice off screen mentions heading to Atlantic City, where AEW is tonight, live from. Bordeaux says, "Oh, is that?" After Kross shoots her a look, shakes his head and starts repeating, "Holy shit." And they get kind of nervous. And, well, then if you didn't hear the rest of it, she mumbles shortly after that, "That's where we're going to be." So take that for what you will. Not everybody in the chat wanting that. So, I mean, there's a lot of different opinions on Kross and Scarlett. I'm still a fan of Kross. He's not one of my favorites, but I will say he's talented. So hey, we'll see. We'll see. He's going to end up on some big stage. We know he's not going to go back to Impact Wrestling. For those of you that don't know, Killer Kross's departure, along with Scarlett Bordeaux's from Impact Wrestling a couple years ago, not too good. Not too good. Very, very, very controversial. For those of you that know, I'm not going to get into all the details here. But anyways, so we'll see. There's plenty of names out there: Keith Lee, Jeff Hardy, Killer Kross. Plenty of others. The list is long and distinguished. So we'll see. We'll see. So whoever, like Tony Khan said, is going to slam the door in their former employer's face. Tony Khan says it's huge for us and it will give the fans a thrill. Well, we'll see. We'll see who shows up and we'll see how social media responds, won't we? And I'll be covering that later tonight. Not too much else I was going to talk about. Certainly is going to be besides all that, it certainly is going to be a exciting episode of AEW tonight. For those of you that don't know, there's going to be a Texas death match in Atlantic City. So does that mean it's going to be an Atlantic City death match? I don't know. Basically it means is you gotta, it's kind of like a last man standing. Guys gotta stay down for a 10 count or something like that, I guess. It's one of those specific rules about a death match. I don't know. Between Hangman Adam Page defending his AEW world title and Lance Archer. So good morning, HD. What's up? So I'm very excited for that. Hangman Page has become one of my favorite ones to watch on AEW. I feel kind of bad for him because I feel like there's so many other things going on in the company that is like not necessarily featured more, but it just feels bigger. But we'll see. There's this stuff with Brandy Rhodes and Paige Van Zandt. Really not excited for more Dan Lambert. There's the fallout from CM Punk and MJF. I'm sure there's going to be something about that, along with this inner circle meeting. Everybody's presence, is mandatory to talk about this. And I don't think it's going to end well tonight for Chris Jericho. Just saying. I honestly, if they do end the inner circle tonight and they all kind of go their separate ways, which has been kind of building, everybody's been kind of doing their own things. Chris Jericho's out on tour, isn't around much. He's doing more commentary. Hagar hasn't been around hardly at all. He's had a couple matches in the last 2 years. Rough time. But he's doing more MMA stuff. So, it is what it is. Not knocking the guy. He's undefeated, so I'm not going to knock the guy. He'll knock me out. P&P, Proud and Powerful, or whatever they're called, Santana and Ortiz, the former LAX, is what many fans still like to call them. They're the ones that have the beef with Chris Jericho. So if we're going to see the debut of anyone, it could be Chris Jericho bringing in someone to back him up. I got a feeling we got a heel turn coming with Chris Jericho. Or Santana Ortiz are just going to full-blown turn on him and attack Chris Jericho. That's kind of what I'm... Never assume. I always preach that, but that's what I feel is coming. Nonetheless, like I said, Inner Circle has had a tremendous run. Love them. Especially Sammy Guevara. He's been the breakout star from this group. Totally. He's the TNT title holder, you know. He's doing great stuff. Had a phenomenal match with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has not been seen since, but his wife has been. It's lovely. Hakeem says most aren't a fan of Brandy. Are you assuming most people don't like her? And it says they'll always be LAX. Yes. Yes, absolutely. And it also says, I'm loving Dan Lambert. I'm not a fan of Brandy. Yeah. Well, you are definitely in the majority there from what fans were sounding like the other night. Never thought I'd hear people cheering Dan Lambert and booing Brandy Rhodes, but like I said in my last review, man, she just sounded so confused out there. Or unpurposely trying to sound like a heel. It just wasn't working. You know, oh, Chicago, Cleveland, whatever. It's all the same city. She just sounded like a dope. It's like you're trying way too hard. You know, starting out with that, and you don't even know what city you're in. You just come off sounding stupid. It's one thing to, you know, knock a city in the middle of a promo. There's like a punchline, you know. Okay, wait for the booze. Continue. You know, MJF does it well. Chris Jericho does it well. So many other heels do it well. Brandy started off with that, and they were just like, the hell, get out of here. It was just more annoying than anything. Did not come off well at all. So, we pick up my ball of fluff here, named Ozzy, set him on the desk. You're good. You're good. So I don't know if anyone else wants to talk about anything else, just kind of leaving it open on the floor. Figure I'd go for about an hour this morning before the UK guys do their stuff at noon. Didn't want to go too long, you know. Simply Steve, speaking of Team TNI UK, Simply Steve, good day, sir. Brandy always has sadly never had that connection with the crowd. I agree. Like, she's come out and supported, you know, Cody, you know, many a time. And sometimes she did heelish stuff. Sometimes she was just a positive reinforcement out there with, you know, Coach Arn, double A. But she was out there by herself this time. And like, and I'm not knocking her for trying to get back into the world of professional wrestling. She just had her baby. God bless her for that. You know, I certainly don't wish anything bad to happen to her. I'm excited that she decided to, you know, train for wrestling again. But just to come out there like this, and all of a sudden, boom, Dan Lambert, and oh, boom, Paige Van Zant. It's like, what's going on here? It just felt so out of sorts. It didn't feel. It just didn't connect. Of course, Ozzy does not want to stay on the desk. He wants to be in my lap. So there he is again. All right. On hockey. Anna says it sounded stupid. Right? It's like you're trying too hard. I don't get it. But anyways. Anna says Cody and Brandy were always so arrogant. They do come off kind of snooty. They do. But I'm still a big fan of Cody's. I always felt like he had an air of, you know, confidence, overconfidence, if you will. But yeah, sometimes it really does come off as arrogant, depending on who he's against in the ring or what's going on around him. So yeah, I can agree with that. It's but like I said, he's still one of my favorites. I can't wait to see what he does next. I'm still really curious to see how where he's going to go from here. You know, he lost to Sammy Guevara. What's next? He wasn't on TV. His wife was. And we saw what happened. It was not pretty. Simply Steve here says, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. It's knowing how to make everyone look strong by not exploiting their weak points. Okay? Yes, Anna, there are women on the roster much better than her. Yeah, and look, and she's, like I said, she just had a baby. So it's going to take her time to, you know, really be ready to, and maybe she is ready. I mean, it does feel kind of like a high profile match. Like Ronda Rousey just came back into WWE, so I don't know if this is supposed to be the counter to that. I don't like to think of AEW as, yeah, they knock up north here and there in their promos or something, you know, and whatever. You know, that's wrestling. They, you know, that this company does it to this company does it to that company. We've seen that forever and a day. Some people are okay with it, some people are not. It's just the way it is, you know. People trying to get ahead and knock the competition. Everyone does it. And don't say WWE doesn't, because God knows they do. Now, where was I going with this? Damn it, I had a thought and it just completely flew out of some orifice in my body. Anyways. Talking about Paige Van Zandt. You know, Ronda Rousey just returned to WWE. Paige Van Zandt, I know she's like big in the MMA world. I'm not an MMA guy, but I know she's a prominent female fighter's name. I get that. So I don't know how good she's really going to be in the ring. And how is this going to come off for Brandy? How are they going to, I mean, maybe they'll have a great match in the ring. I don't want to assume it's going to be bad. It's just the build. The build is what's supposed to get you excited for it. Some matches, sometimes you don't need any build. You see this guy, there's a beef, and there's a match. Boom. Sometimes that's all you need. And that's fine. Sometimes you really need a story to be told to get you excited for something. And that's another great thing about wrestling, telling a story, you know? You know, you look at, you know, just right off the top of my head, thinking about like Undertaker versus HBK. You don't need a big story there. It's two legendary people. You know they're going to knock it out of the park. And they did a few times, plenty of times over their career. But this, I don't know. Like the start of it is really wonky between Paige Van Zandt and Brandy. Like I said, maybe the end result in a pay-per-view, I'm guessing Revolution coming up in late February, March, whenever it is. Maybe it'll come off great. But getting there, not like Happy Days, it's not so good, Al. The beginning is quite wonky, in my professional podcasting opinion. There, I got it in. HD says, what's for breakfast? I have not had breakfast yet. I got my coffee. I'm almost out. Ozzy, that's my nipple. Damn, what is up with cats and nipples? I swear. Clawing at me. He's like stretching and you know what cats do. Unfortunately, my nipple was in the way. Again. Sorry. Sorry about my nipple being in the way and you stretching. Damn cats, gotta love them. Hannah says, I need a story. What's the point? Who are they trying to build? I guess it's supposed to be an impressive comeback for Brandy Rhodes. Like, oh, she had her baby. She's getting back into wrestling, and now she's got this dominant figure of Paige Van Zandt. I guess. We'll see what happens. Honestly, I'm more curious about what Cody's going to do. Is Cody even going to be out there with her? And what's crazy in all this, Paige Van Zandt, along with Dan Lambert, seem like they're the baby faces here. How backwards wonky is that? Like, I can't tell you how many people last week I saw on social media or heard in other reviews say, I can't believe I was just cheering Dan Lambert. Where are you going? That's my microphone. You can't. This cat, I swear to God, has taken up my microphone so many times. Anna says he's trying to give you a piercing. LOL. God, no. Please, no. No nipple piercings for J-Bo. We'll stick with the ears. Actually, I haven't had earrings in my ears in several years. I took them out for one of my back surgeries eons ago, and they never went back in. But I think someday that's going to happen again. Because I've been joking about, Luke Gallows or Doc Gallows, whatever you call them. Gallows danglies, Then the Young Bucks got the dangly earrings, and I'm like, now J-Bone's got to get it. Got to get the danglies. Get Mrs. J-Bone to pierce my ears. Oh, do I trust Mrs. J-Bone? We'll find out. All right. So we're just coming up to about an hour. Had a lovely little discussion this morning. Thank you, everyone who tuned in live so early. Oh, thank God for coffee, right? All right. So, like I said, tune in later. About 4 hours later, just less than 4 hours later, 12 Central Time, 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I guess. Do the math. So yeah, noon my time. Check out Team TNI UK. We'll see what guests they have on today. Can't wait to see. And then I'll be back later tonight discussing whatever happens on. Ouch. Oh, damn cat. Reviewing tonight's AEW. All right. We're getting out of here. I need more coffee. I also need a nap. And some breakfast. So what's for breakfast? I don't know. We'll find out soon enough. Much love, everyone. Take care. We'll see y'all later tonight.